Okay, dear students, now we will discuss what is Coulomb's law. Okay, so next is Coulomb's law. Okay, so before concluding the Coulomb's law, we have to understand the basic. See here, it is your Q1 is a charge. Similarly, if the charge Q2 is here, separated by a distance is R. Okay, so these two are of positive charge. If these two are of positive charge, then what happens? Repulsion is takes place. How the repulsion is takes place? Always the force acting along the line joining of two charges. Here, if these two charges are line joining like this, okay, it means that the force must be along this direction. First thing, okay. See here, I am writing when this charge is starts to move along this direction, then what happens? This charge is also moves along this direction because these two charges are repel with each other. So let us consider two magnets over here. Okay, if one magnet is here, south pole, one more magnet I am taking a south pole. If this magnet is moving along this direction, then what happens? This magnet is also starts to move like this only. In case of charges, if this charge is moving along this direction due to the repulsive force, then what happens? This charge is also moving along this direction. Then from this we can conclude that this force must be along this direction. So force on 2 due to 1 is taken as F1. Similarly, here I am taking when I am starting this point charge along this direction it is moving. Then what happens? So this charge will be force on 1 due to 2. Okay. One more diagram I am drawing here. If it is your 4Q1, here I am taking only Q2. Okay. So if 4Q1 is acts a force on this, I am drawing force on 2 due to 1. So when this force is acting along this direction, F force on 1 due to 2. What is the meaning of this? So if it is a 4 times of this charge, so force must be maximum. Force will be maximum. That's why I drawn what is that? The force must be lengthier. This line is lengthier. This line is too much length, means force must be maximum. If instead of this, if I take 8Q2, then here force must be maximum of that. Shall I write it is F12. So from this we can conclude that, see here, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಗಳು ಇದ್ರೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಾನು? ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4Q ಇತ್ತು, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1Q ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 kg ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಇದು 1 kg ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಈ 4 kg ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಲ್ಲು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಬಡಿತು, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೇ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ದೂರ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದೇ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ 4 kg ಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ. ಸಿ ಹೌ ಟು state the Coulomb's law. What is the statement of Coulomb's law? First thing we have to understand that here the force must be there. Okay, that force must be along the line joining of 2 point charges. So I am writing here F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 divided by R square. What is the statement? The force between these 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of their charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance is called your Coulomb's law. Okay na? See here, F, this proportionality constant can be removed by introducing constant K, Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where K is called dielectric constant. Okay, na? Where K is called absolute permittivity. Sorry, where K is called absolute permittivity. Okay, na? Where K is called absolute permittivity. Instead of K, value of K I am taking as 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where epsilon naught is called permittivity of free space. It is permittivity of free space. Okay, na? It is permittivity of free space. So this formula is called Coulomb's formula. Okay, Coulomb's law tells us that the force between these 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance. Where K is called absolute permittivity, F is equal to, instead of K I am writing 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, na? It is about your Coulomb's law. From this, let us see here. If shall I write F is inversely proportional to R square. Okay, na? F is inversely proportional to R square. It is also called your inverse square law. Okay, F is inversely proportional to R square means inverse square law. See here. Here is a very important thing is that F and R are inversely proportional. So if F and R are inversely proportional means as the force is increases, distance must be decreases. See here, these two charges I am taking here. Okay, initially it is of 5 meter length. Okay, as the distance is decreases, see here, distance is decreases, force must be increases. Na? Similarly, as the force is increases, distance must be decreases, and as the distance is increases here, in this case, as the distance is increases, force must be decreases. This is the very important. So graph of this can be written, graph of this F versus R square. This F versus R square I am drawing here. As the force is decreases, then distance must be increases. Okay. As the distance is increases, see here, as the distance is increases, then what happens? Force must be decreases. That's why it is also called inverse square law. It is all about Coulomb's law. Okay. Then Coulomb's law in vector form I want to know. Okay. Next is Coulomb's law in vector form. Coulomb's law in vector form. So what is the Coulomb's law in vector form? Okay, we know that the Coulomb's equation F is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So if I want in vector form, F is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. I am giving a unit vector here. Okay, na? I am giving a unit vector here. What is the unit vector? This unit vector is equal to vector R divided by magnitude of R. So put this value over here. This F is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square into vector R divided by magnitude of R. Then this F is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R cube into vector R is the final expression for Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay, na? It is about Coulomb's law in vector form. Then very important factor is limitations of Coulomb's law or else drawbacks of Coulomb's law. So while explaining itself only, I had told that point charge, point charge, point charge. Okay na? So what is point charge? Point charge means it is a very 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 small charge. Okay, it means that the Coulomb's law is applicable to a point charge, not to the bigger charges at all. Okay na? So next is limitations of Coulomb's law. Next one is limitations of Coulomb's law. What are the limitations of Coulomb's law will be? Okay, so first limitation of Coulomb is the Coulomb's law is applicable to the point charges itself. It is applicable to point charges but not to extended charge. What is point charge and what is extended charge? Point charge means it is the very 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 smallest charge. Extended charge means bigger charges. So Coulomb's law may not applicable to the bigger charges. It is applicable to a point charge means to the smallest charges. Then second one is that the Coulomb's law is applicable only when charges must be at rest. Okay na? Charges at rest. Okay na? It is the second limitations of Coulomb's law. Then third limitation is, let us consider Q1, it will be our Q2 separated by a distance r. So third limitation is that if the separation between these two charges must be greater than 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Okay na? So if the distance between these two point charges is less than 10 to the power minus 15, it may not applicable. Then fourth one is, as I told, charges is at rest. If the charges are under motion, okay na? If charges are under motion, then Coulomb's law may not applicable. Then fifth one, it's a very very important fact this. That is, if one charge is under motion, another charge is at rest. Okay? If one charge is at motion, another charge is at rest, here Coulomb's law is applicable. Okay? Coulomb's law is applicable. Okay? Coulomb's law must be applicable. Okay? These are the very very important limitations of Coulomb's law. First limitation is point charges, means the Coulomb's law is applicable to point charge only. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? Coulomb's law ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ Coulomb's law ನಮಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎರಡನೇದು ಯಾವುದು? ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡೀಲ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಎರಡು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 10 to the power minus 15 ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಗಳು ಮೋಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಒಂದ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ Q1 ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೋಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದು Q2 ಅನ್ನೋದು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? These are the main limitations of Coulomb's law. For 2 marks he may ask. Okay na? Next, unit of charge. Next ಯಾವುದು? Unit of charge. Unit of charge ಯಾವುದು? ಕೂಲಂಬ. So define 1 ಕೂಲಂಬ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. What is the unit of charge? Unit of charge. This unit of charge must be coulomb. ಕೂಲಂಬ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳೋದೇನು, ಡಿಫೈನ್ 1 ಕೂಲಂಬ್. ಓಕೆನಾ, define 1 coulomb. So how to define 1 coulomb? We know that this F is equal to by Coulomb's law K Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where K is equal to what? 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Keep in your mind. Okay, I may use K or else I may use 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Then this F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. Let this Q1 Q2 is equal to 1 coulomb and R is equal to 1 meter. Then what will be your answer? F is equal to 1 into 1 is 1 divided by 1 square is 1. F is equal to K. Then what is the value of K? This F is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power 9. Okay, na? This is the value of K. Okay, so how to define this? Unit of charge, or else define 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb can be defined as when the charges must be 1 coulomb and separated by a distance must be 1 meter. The force exert between these two must be 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power 9 is called your coulomb. Once again, so 1 coulomb is defined as the charges must be 1 coulomb and separated distance between must be 1 meter, and force exert between these 2 point charges must be what? 9 into 10 to the power 9 is called your 1 coulomb. Okay, next come to the point of what is the unit of this K. Okay, what is the unit of K? Next, unit of absolute permittivity. Absolute permittivity or K. Absolute permittivity or K. So ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕೇಳಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನ ಬಯಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾನ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಸೇರ್. ಸೊ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಏನಂತ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ? ಕೆ Q1 Q2 divided by R square ಅಂತಿದೆನಾ? ಓಕೆ, so this F is equal to, I want K na, K is equal to F into R square divided by Q1 Q2. Then this K is equal to what should I write? What is the SI unit of force? It will be Newton. Then what is the SI unit of distance? Distance must be meter. It will be meter square divided by coulomb into coulomb. It will be coulomb square. So this K is equal to Newton meter square per coulomb square. Okay, this is the SI unit of absolute permittivity or K. So ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು SI ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನೆನಪಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು SI ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So this is a very important trick, remember. Next, absolute permittivity or dielectric constant. Next is dielectric constant. Dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Or relative permittivity. Okay na? Dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Then what is dielectric constant or relative permittivity? Okay na? As I told, okay, see here. So I want to write two expressions here. One is Coulomb's law in air and Coulomb's law in medium. Okay, see here. So let the Coulomb's law in air. This F at air is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Then let the Coulomb's law in any medium. So epsilon naught means it will be at free space. Okay, F at medium is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon at medium. Free space means what? Permittivity at free space I am writing as epsilon naught. If I am keeping any medium between two charges, the force must be degrees. See here, these two are point charges. Okay, if these two are point charges, see here, Q1, here will be your Q2. If any kind of medium I keep over here I am keeping any kind of medium, then what happens? Force between these two must be degrees. See here, I am taking this one is Q1, it will be your Q2, separated by distance R. So in between of these two, if I kept a pen is acts as a medium. Okay, so then what happens? There must be force degrees. Then epsilon m Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Okay, let us call this is equation number 1, it is equation number 2. Next, 1 divided by 2, make it. Then what will be your answer? F at air, F at medium is equal to, what should I write? 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square whole divided by 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon m Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Shall I write this is A divided by B divided by C divided by D can be written as what? A divided by B into D divided by C. Okay, I am writing here this F at air is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square into 4 pi epsilon m into R square divided by Q1 Q2. Then 4 pi Q1 Q2 R square get cancels. F at medium, F at air divided by F at medium is equal to epsilon m divided by epsilon naught, epsilon m divided by epsilon naught. So where epsilon m permittivity at medium, epsilon naught permittivity at free space. Okay, so combining of these two is called relative permittivity. Epsilon r means what? Relative permittivity. So shall I write epsilon r is equal to epsilon m divided by epsilon naught. So relative permittivity is equal to epsilon m medium divided by free space. Okay na? It will be medium divided by free space. Epsilon r is equal to epsilon m divided by epsilon naught. How to define this dielectric constant or relative permittivity? So the relative permittivity is defined as it is the ratio of permittivity at medium to the permittivity at free space. Okay na? It is about dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Here very important formula, try to remember these. First formula, F air divided by F medium is equal to, shall I write it is epsilon r. Okay, so epsilon m divided by epsilon naught, epsilon r is equal to epsilon m divided by epsilon Not this epsilon r is called what? Dielectric constant. K is also we can call. So this F air divided by F medium is equal to K. I am going to take these 3, 1, let us call 2, 3. These three formulas are very important while solving the problematic part. Okay, just keep remember this. So first what I told, dielectric constant ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ತಗೋತೀನ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೋತೀನಿ? ಫ್ರೀ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಒಳಗಡೆ ತಗೋತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಒಳಗಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಒಂದು ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಎಫ್ ಏರ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1/4πε0 q1 q2 by r² ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಫ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಎಂ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಪರ್ಮಿಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಟ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 1/2 ಮಾಡಿ. 1/2 ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಫ್ ಏರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಫ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಎಂ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ನಾಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಎರಡು ಕೂಡಿ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟಿವಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಏನಂತ ಬರೀತೀವಿ? ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಎಂ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ನಾಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಎಫ್ ಏರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಫ್ ಎಂ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ಆರ್. Then F air divided by Fm is equal to K, means it will be constant. You ಮೂರು important formula ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay. Next is very important, that is superposition principle. Next is superposition principle. Next is superposition principle. Next is superposition principle. So superposition principle ಒಂದ್ ವೇಳೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಕೂಲಂಬ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿತ್ತು? ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು Q1 ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು Q2 ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ Q1 Q2 ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಸೊ F1 will be along this direction, F2 will be along this direction. If only two charges were there, if I take system of charges, superposition principle is also called what? System of charges. If system of charges means what? More than two, means more than 2. The charges may be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to n. Okay. So see here, it's a very important factor. ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು Q ಅನ್ನ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡ್ತೇನೆ. Okay. So here I am taking Q1, Q2 separated by a distance. I am writing here. Point charge as a Q. Here will be Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6. If there are n number of charges, I am taking Qn, then separated by a distance R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. It will be Rn if there are n number of charges. Okay. Then see here, force between these two charges. Okay, na? Force between these two charges. Write down this. R1. Shall I write F1 here? Okay, na? This F1 is equal to point charge. This charge, see here. This charge acting a force on this. Or else you may take like this also. This charge is acting a force on this. The force will be along this direction away. Shall I take F1? Similarly, if Q2 is here, F2 will be along this direction. Q3, F3, Q4, F4. So total n number of forces acting on this point charges. Okay, let us write. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? Q1 Q2. ಸಪೋಸ್ Q1 ಮತ್ತೆ Q1 Q. ಸೊ ಈ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ಈ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, F1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ Q2 ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ Q2 F2 ಈ ಕಡೆ ಆಗತ್ತಾ, Q3 F3, Q4 F4, Q5 F5, Q6 F6. If there are n number of charges, then what happens? Force must be n. So write down for this. this F1 is equal to, what should I write? K Q Q1 divided by R square. Shall I write? R square means R1 square. Then this F2 is equal to K from these two, Q2. Q into Q2 divided by R square. Okay. Then F3 is equal to K Q Q3 divided by R3 square. R2 square, R3 square. If there are n number of charges, Fn is equal to K Q Qn divided by Rn square. Okay. So net force, if I want, if all these charges Q1, Q2, Q3, all these charges are acting a force on point charge, acting on this charge. So F net I can calculate. Now how to calculate F net? This F net is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 plus F5 up to Fn. F net is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 up to F of n. So this F net is equal to, F1 can be written as what? K Q Q1 divided by R1 square plus K Q Q2 divided by R2 square. If there are n number of charges, then what should I write? K Q Qn divided by Rn square. Okay. What are the common factors here? What are the common factors? This F net is equal to K Q is a common. Then what should I write? Q1 divided by R1 square plus Q2 divided by R2 square up to Qn divided by Rn square. It will be Rn square, shall I write? Then this F net is equal to, KQ summation of n is equal to 1 to n. This is, it will goes up to Qn divided by Rn, its square, is the total force acting on this point charge. Okay. So statement of this superposition principle. How to statement? The resultant means what? F net and resultant both are same. The resultant force acts on any point charge. Is equal to, then remaining all charges are acting a force on a point charge is called your superposition principle. What is superposition principle? The resultant force acts on a point charge is equal to the vector sum of force acting remaining charges. Okay. It is about your superposition principle. Okay. In the next video, we will discuss the problems related to Coulomb's law. Okay. So main formula, what are the main formulas are required here? I am telling the formulas are required to solve the problem. First formula, what I told, Coulomb's law. First formula is required. This Q is equal to plus or minus Ne. Second formula, F is equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Then third formula, F at air divided by F at medium is equal to epsilon R is equal to epsilon M divided by epsilon naught is equal to K. Okay. These are the very important formula. Then this F net is equal to KQ summation of Qn divided by Rn square. These are the very important formulas are required. In the next complete class, only problematic part will be there. Okay. Thank you.